Hello, Facebook. How are you doing? Waiting. We're waiting and waiting for my beautiful Nakia. Where are you? Nakia, Nakia, Nakia. Hope everybody is doing well. I see you're trying to get on. Get, get on. Where you at, Nakia? Nick. I think she's having some technical difficulties. Nakia. Yeah, sometimes the Wi-Fi helps, Nakia. Sometimes. We are a few minutes early. How's everybody tonight? Come on, Nakia. Hey, Sakanya. I hope I said it right. I always mess up your name. Oh, we're having some difficulties. So I said your name right, Sakanya? Sakanya. I always mess your name up. It's such a beautiful name. Are you on? I don't see you. Do you see me? Yay! I miss you. We gotta have lunch or something. Haven't seen each other forever. Still can't see you, Nikki. Mm. You hear a cat? My sister's cat is very needy, so whenever she decides she wants to leave, he start acting like he ain't got no sense.
I heard a cat. I'm like, what is this? Meow.
How you
Oh my
doing?
gosh. Sorry, the struggle of Wi-Fi in Long Beach.
Girl. Yeah. Well, welcome back.
Hello,
We
peoples.
saw how you was bragging all week about being at work, but not at work, but you was at work.
Now it's catching up to me. I'm like, oh, the struggle. I didn't even put it. Yeah, the struggle. Let me just stop there. No excuses. No excuses.
Hilarious.
Hello.
Well,
How are you
welcome
doing?
back. I am doing
Thank you.
well. I'm doing well. I'm very excited about tonight's topic. Um, and tonight's topic is actually a spinoff of an incident that took place on yesterday. So it's coming from a personal standpoint. So when it took place, of course, it struck a chord
Uh-huh.
because all of my life, I basically have been told that I was mean or that I I was inconsiderate of others' feelings, and just a whole bunch of negative stuff. And I've always struggled with it because anybody that's close to me knows that I'm anything but mean. I will literally give you the shirt off of my back, and as I'm giving you my shirt, I'm trying to find out how I can get you some shoes and pants to match it.
Right.
So, for people that, really don't know me or didn't know me to make those statements, it struck a chord. So anyhow, yeah, that's where that topic came from. And I'm just curious to see how others have dealt with that. And because I know I can't be the only person that, someone has made a judgment against you without even taking the time to really get to know you or get to know where that stemmed from. So,
Right.
but that being said, I'm going to shut my pie hole and I'm going to let you do your introduction. And then I'll go into my introduction and we're going to get right on in this meal, honey.
All right. All week it's always a struggle, but the positive in my week is this time every Thursday 8 to 9. So first of all, let me say thank you for hosting on your page, Pretty Princess Parties. That's PPP number 3 .com. So
Yes.
I'll let you say it again. I just like saying it. So with that said, my name is Nikia, and I am the happy and proud owner of Perfectly Packaged You.
Mm-hmm.
And at Perfectly Packaged You, we are a national distribution company. Well, we ship nationally. What we ship are menstrual hygiene boxes for young girls, their parents, guardians, nonprofit schools, everyone across the board. And we educate about menstrual hygiene and menstrual etiquette. It's so important to our young girls, but more importantly, I'm finding it's more important to our women
Yeah.
because it starts now. It starts as a young girl on up, but you have to be taught by someone.
Right.
So it's beneficial to not look at these hygiene menstrual boxes as just period boxes, because that's not what we are. Our
Right.
boxes are branded as pretty packages because we want to rebrand what a menstrual cycle looks like,
Right.
what the discussion of the menstrual cycle and etiquette sounds like. And so you can find us online at www.perfectlypackagedyou with the ed you, here's our logo, .com. And you can find us actually every Thursday either on our Facebook, which is Perfectly Packaged You, or on Pretty Princess Parties Facebook, like tonight. So with that said, I'm going to throw it back to you, Tamaris. Take it away.
Take it away. Well, um, for those of you that are chiming in and are not really clear about what Pretty Princess Parties is about, Pretty Princess Parties initially started off as just being a mobile spa service for young girls between the ages of 8 and 18. As we continue to offer those services, I started to discover that there was a greater need with our young girls in the community, which is to help them discover their uniqueness and embracing it. So,
Mm-hmm.
with that being said, we are now introducing workshops which specifically target those type of topics such as self-esteem building, hygiene, emphasis, something similar to what Miss Nakia does with Perfectly Packaged You,
Mm-hmm.
um, and educating young girls how to embrace being a young lady, which will create a foundation for them as they grow into womanhood. So we have several different curriculums that we're offering, mentorships, motivational speaking, DIY, and of course the pamper and spa sessions. So that's what we're about, which leads me into tonight's topic. Like I spoke about earlier, I had an incident to take place with an individual where basically they were making a judgment statement about my character. And all of my life, I've had to struggle with that, and individuals have always um, mistakenly categorize me as being a mean person. And As I was sharing earlier, anybody that knows me, that I'm anything but that. So when I had that experience, I said, this is a good topic for young girls to, and ladies, to um, be educated on. You should not have to ever apologize for who you are. And I say that because um, if everyone was exactly the same, if everyone had the same MO, then we wouldn't be a human. We wouldn't be human. We would be basically droids, or robots, drone, well, not drones. Drones are in the air, but we would be not human. You know what I mean? That's what makes us so amazing as a race. That we're all different. We all have a purpose, just like your body. The eye can't do what the mouth does. The mouth can't do what the nose does. The arm can't do what the hand does. But if one of those go missing, the rest of the body suffers. So we all have a purpose, and we need to operate in that purpose. And I believe that's where a lot of frustration comes in with people, specifically kids, because they haven't been on the planet long, so they really don't have fear. They really don't have doubt. All that negativity stems from someone that's either been abused mentally, physically, whatever the case may be, or have been brainwashed to a certain extent to believe that they have to function and operate in a certain manner. And I really want young girls to understand that you being who you are, however that person may be, however you decide to operate in, if you just embrace it, there's always room for growth. No one is perfect. And if anyone believes they're perfect, that's your first issue, is the fact that you think you're perfect. Nobody is perfect. There's always room for growth. So, for me, and as an example, I'm just a very direct individual, and I'm very passionate. And with that being said, some people may take my deliverance as being brute or cutthroat, however they want to describe it. But I'm anything but that. And it stems from me understanding that in order for you to be a better person, you have to constantly be working at being a better person. So if you're doing something that's offensive, or your deliverance is a certain way, then you may miss the opportunity to help somebody. Over the years, I've learned how to tone it down when I need to, depending on the individual I'm talking to. But for the most part, I'm very direct, because nobody is guaranteed tomorrow. Nobody's guaranteed the next 5 minutes. So if you're in a position where you're in error, and I have the knowledge to educate you on how to change that, and I just look at you and shake my head, or I say something negative to you or negative about you, how is that helping you? It's not. That's not helping you, because you may have been operating in error for so long that you don't even notice that it's something wrong, but there are symptoms to that behavior, because people stop messing with you. People stop talking to you. People stop inviting you places. So that's an indication that there may be some error in may be some character flaws. But if nobody takes the time out of love to point that out to you, then you'll continue to operate in that. So I share that because it's a gift and a curse. I try to deliver it in a fashion that is acceptable, but nobody really wants to be told they're wrong or they're operating in error. So it doesn't matter how I serve it up. If it's something that you don't want to hear, you don't want to hear it. But my intention is never to come with a hardened heart, or come with malice, or try to break somebody down. I never, ever want to break anybody down. Never. That's never my intent. My intent is always to uplift, edify, encourage, motivate, push you. That's always my MO. Whether people accept it that way, that's a different story. So, that's pretty much where I stand with that. You want to piggyback on that?
Yeah. So, we speak from the same point of view, but we also offer a perspective in both areas for generations. And I think that you touched on the part that's probably more relevant to someone a little bit more mature than the younger girl between ages now 7, probably right around 6 or 7, up
Mm-hmm.
to 16, 17. So I probably would keep it in that realm right now. That, you know, it's funny. I'm a brown girl, clearly. And the topic is don't apologize for being you. And like you said earlier, you get hit with that label of being mean and angry. And um, the unfortunate, hopefully you can hear me because I see a little fizz, but the unfortunate side of being a brown girl, although it's all fortunate, but it's unfortunate that we get labeled that because that is what society has already deemed us to be, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Before I keep going, I just want to make sure you can hear me okay.
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Okay,
Can you
so
hear me?
society has already labeled us to be angry. I get all the time, I thought you was mean, or I didn't want to come over and talk to you and get your number because you just look mean. And I'm thinking, well, should I
Yep.
smile like for the last 30 minutes just to give you some warmth that
Yeah.
I'm not mean? And so for that, I think that the idea of us being mean comes from being brown girls and for being strong, opinionated in the right way, passionate for what we stand for. But more
Right.
importantly, because I come from the perfectly packaged you world when it comes to menstrual hygiene and etiquette, I think that the older generation, parents, sisters, fathers, whomever, you have a direct impact into the young community, whether that be boy or girl. And
Right.
they too have to adopt that mindset of don't apologize for being them. Like, if you want to be an entrepreneur and you see a child out there asking you to buy $1 candy bar in the grocery store, and I'm guilty of this. Sometimes I will go, you just want that money for candy, or you just want that money for whatever.
Right.
And I have to quickly check myself. That child will grow up one day running the rat race like the rest of us. They're going to go to work day in and day out. And so it's important for us to look at that from that perspective, that when we encounter a young person, even the ones outside twirling the signs on the corner, those little signs and
Right.
stuff,
Right.
it's important that we look at that younger generation and go, that's an entrepreneurial mindset. So we
Yep.
shouldn't put them in a position to feel bad or apologize for what they're trying to accomplish. What we can do, older people, what we can do is encourage them and direct them and say, you know what? I've been watching you on the corner for the past month twirling the sign, and I'm sure you get paid a little money, but at 110 degrees, your health isn't worth it, although I understand. How
Right.
about I connect you with someone, or I network for you to bring you inside a McDonald's, bring you inside a Burger King,
Right.
like give you something to bring you income or mentor you to grow in your own business. If you're going to twirl the signs, why don't you design those signs, or design a water bottle, or design, anything that where you can now feed the people that are on the corner. You can, hell, they'd be willing to buy your drink or your food for less
Right.
than run over to McDonald's or something. Like, give them that entrepreneurial mindset.
Right.
So for my end, before we take, comments from the section, which I'm hoping they get on and comment, is don't apologize for being you, because I apologized and I'm now 38. And I remember at 22, I started my first business called Star
Ooh.
Quality. I couldn't remember the oldest. The oldest. But Star Quality. It was a star with quality written in the middle. And I designed that because I was working in entertainment and celebrities want things for free. So you call something that they gravitate to. Star
Mm.
Quality. So everything that I did was branded under Star Quality. And because of that start, it brought me to this finish, which is Perfectly Packaged You. So I didn't apologize then, and I'm not going to apologize now. So let's transition that mindset.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. Just want to take a few seconds and say, Taisha, thank you for jumping on. I appreciate you for sharing it. Latanya, thank you. Who else is? Bonica, thank you. Jojo, thank you. Jacqueline, thank you. Sakanya, thank you. We appreciate you so very much. Please like and share, like and share. Give us some hearts. Let us know that we're on the right path. Let us know that it's making sense. Jojo, hey twin, how you doing? That's my twin. Anybody looking for a bomb stylist in LA, she is the bomb. In Leimert Park, I love Jojo. I'm telling you, that girl can do some wonders with your hair. I'm telling you, she does wonders. Yes, she slows, she slays. But yeah, the everything that you were saying was like right on point. And I know it may have sounded like it was for an older crowd, but it's actually it's appropriate for all age ranges, I believe, because even with younger kids, because these kids are so mature nowadays, you know. We have to get out of that mindset of equating maturity and ability with an age, because some of these kids, their brains are so advanced because of the exposure that they're getting. You can't just shoo a kid off anymore. Go sit down and play. No, if that kid is coming to you and saying, well, mom, I want to do this. Mom, I want to, what if I did this? Encourage that. Encourage it, because you never know where it's going to wind up. The access, everything is so DIY now. You can, create your own website. You could create your own logo, your own flyer. So if a kid is sparking an interest in something, we as a community, it's our responsibility to encourage that. Hey, Christy. Hey, boo. And Christy is one that can attest to that, because her daughter owns a business too, and she's under that. She's a tweenie. So, encourage that. Yeah, absolutely. And so when I was saying not to be apologetic about who you are, no matter how quirky that may be, or how different you may wind up having to be from your peers, go with that, as long as it's not, offensive to anyone, directly offensive, because you have no control over how people interpret you. If it's not directly offensive, where you're offending someone's culture or their ethnicity or their sex, but if you have a uniqueness within you, we as a parents and a community, it's our job to embrace that, because you never know where that's going to wind up. There's not been one person that is successful that wasn't deemed as weird or unusual or outcast because they didn't fit into the mold. I think about Steve Jobs. That man was a complete geek all of his life, but he was a genius. He was an amazing person, did amazing things, before he transitioned into his next, his resting place. So, yeah, Christy said her daughter is 7 and owns a business. So that's amazing. That's amazing.
So, Christy, I just posted the link in the comments on our business page, Perfectly Packaged You. We have a section called She Inspires. And, I would love to promote your daughter. This is absolutely free publicity. We put a blog out about her. We post her on our website. We want to give her exposure, because we're all about girl empowerment and we bond. We're a community. So feel free to click that link. It'll take you directly to our page. You can fill out the information, give me the details, and we will create a blog about her and promote your daughter. And like our page, our Perfectly Packaged You Facebook page, so that way we can tag you or her or both of you in it, just to get some more traction out there. Because how amazing, a 7-year-old with the business, like, that's
absolutely
not unheard of.
Hey, Aisha, thank you for tuning in. Absolutely. Absolutely. And thank you guys for the love. I'm seeing the hearts and the likes, and make sure that you share this, please. We need to really get this information out there. I know Facebook is typically for, the more mature groups, but I think as a community, like Nakia just got through saying, we have to educate ourselves. And then once we are knowledgeable of a situation, then it's our responsibility to educate our children. We have to be mindful that these children are our future. And if they don't have the basic fundamentals as to entrepreneurship, education, how to take care of yourself, how to preserve your life, how to be a humanitarian, those are necessities. And that's what Nakia and I are passionate about, is educating not only the children, because the children are reflections of their parents. So these children that you're walking by and you shaking your head at, and she should know better, they should know better, that, just look at that kid as a mirror, because it's your responsibility to step up to the plate and educate them however you feel it's appropriate. Sometimes they need to be reprimanded, sometimes they need love. These kids need love. They need love. And that goes back to the point that I was talking about. Don't apologize for who you are. Sometimes I'm out and about, it drives my kids crazy. Sometimes I see some kids acting a fool, I'll grit my teeth and tell them, sit down.
Right.
Or
Sure.
sometimes I'll snatch a
Quick.
kid and, yeah, I'll snatch a kid and give them a hug in a minute, because they need to understand that love is the conqueror of all things. These kids need to be felt like they're needed and they're wanted. But society has told them that they have to fit in this box. If you don't fit in this box, if you're outside of this box, then you're a weirdo. There's something wrong with you. Then you're not going to be anything. But in actuality, that is opposite of that. You should not fit in the box or the frame as everybody else. You should not look like everybody else. You should not talk like everybody else. I absolutely hate that phrase. You talk like a white girl. What is a white girl? Because I'm educated? Because I choose to use every letter, syllable that's in a word, I have to be white? My daughter gets it too. She has to be white? No. We have to get out of that mindset as a community. Stop labeling everybody. That kid acts a little different. Okay, fine. Groom it. Mold it. Don't let it just be going all haywire. It's like your bushes in your front yard. Yeah, it's a bush. It's supposed to grow. But I don't think anybody wants a wild bush in front of their house. You want it to be manicured. You want it to be groomed. You want it to be formatted. You want it to shape. That's what we have to do with these kids. Mold it. Mold that curiosity. And we have to get away from
Yep.
everybody has to fit. Girls can't do this and boys can't do this. Who says? If they have
So
the curiosity,
Christy,
yeah,
yeah, so Christy said after school programs are so important.
absolutely,
And they
Kristen.
are.
Yes,
We did, for my company, we did well, not my company, but my company I work for, um, we did donated bikes. So in our offsite little adventure that we did this past week, we built bikes and donated to the Boys and Girls Club. And I'm a product of the Boys and Girls Club. So after school programs are extremely important because
yes,
I loved our Boys and Girls Club in Pasadena, well, Hastings Ranch, growing up before I moved out of state. And it taught me how to swim. They taught me how to knit, to crochet. And I'm an old soul, so I literally can't wait to buy the perfect rocking chair so I can knit because of the Boys and Girls Club. Like, I just want a
hey,
rocking
Loretta,
chair.
thank you. You're so stupid.
But you said something, and I want to ask the ladies, the gentlemen, everyone in here. I haven't been on social media because I've been super busy, so I haven't really seen these articles about what's going on in the world of gossip. Like I'm catching up today, and it's blowing my mind. So I watched an interview, whether it's true or not, as far as the full validity, but I'm definitely want to put this in because it really speaks to the don't apologize for being you. Again, I don't know if it's true or not. I'm just going to give you my opinion. And my opinion is I worked in entertainment for for some years, and not the entertainment that is just executives. I worked with those too, but I worked in seeing artists directly, so I know the ins and outs of some of them and how they operate and who they really are, good and bad. But at the end of the day, we all people. I'm not judging. I just don't deal with you. Or as what's his name, Big Sean say, I don't with you. Yeah, I don't do it. Um, immediately I got in my feelings about these young girls in this sex cult or whatever they are in. They're over the age of 18, so technically they have the legal right to do what they want. So I'm not even going to touch on that. But I'm listening to their parents, their peers talk about them, about how great of a person they are, how they were in college, how drastically they've changed. And in the comments, I'm literally reading negative comments about these girls from women. Like,
Yep.
the women are the worst critics of these young girls who have allowed themselves to get put in situations that weren't becoming of their general outcome. Good, bad, or indifferent, that's where they are right now, because they are legal and they made that choice for themselves. But my point is, how can we, and this is just a question, I'm not pointing the fingers, how can we as women hold this kind of forum every week and hope that people will get it? And you look in the comments and the worst critics are the women. Like, what more can we on this timeline and in this video do to say, we can't ask us to not apologize for being us when the next woman next to us is breaking us down for being who we are? So
I think
what do
that's
we need
going
to
to.
say differently? I'm listening.
I think the only way that that's actually going to be transformed is if we continue to push through that barrier. We have to continue
Mm-hmm.
to educate the necessity of empowering one another, and all we can do is continue to flood individuals' minds and challenge their thought process. That's all we can do. My mother shared something with me a month or so ago, and it was so profound. It was very, very short and to the point, but it was very profound, and referencing to our community, the Brown community, as to why we have that bad character trait with, breaking each other down and things of that nature. And she said, back in the days in slavery time, what they would do when the master would come to the house to pick a woman or a child that he wanted to sleep with, the mother of the house would intentionally downplay that person that he was seeking to sleep with. If it was her daughter, her niece, her grandbaby, to protect her. That was her purpose of doing that. She would, oh, she ain't no good, or, she's not ripe and she's not
Right,
experienced, take me.
right,
It was a form of protection, but that became a way of life that's something that became repetitious. It was something that everybody would do. Initially, it was to save each other, but then because that was something that was embedded in our heads, it's still part of our character flaw.
right.
So that's something that we're combating
Sorry.
along with all the other, issues that came from being enslaved. But my response to that would be the only way that it's going to get better is we have to take accountability first for what we do as an individual, because it's so easy to slip into, gossiping. I don't care who you are, pastor's wife, deacon's wife, a pastor yourself. I don't care who you are. It's so easy to slip into some gossip opposed to speaking about positivity, just like what we're doing, every Thursday for the last month now. We've been doing this, and yet there's been little to no support. Opposed if we were on here bashing, our culture, or bashing each other, talking about, the light skins versus the dark skins, or the big booties versus the skinny. It would be flooded, so it's just a mindset, and the only way we can combat that is just to continue to do what we're doing. I would like to see you guys'
So,
comments on that.
Christy, yeah, I'm reading Christy's, and Christy, you're absolutely right. In order for that to happen, women have to be honest with themselves. And one of
Yes.
the things that I try to on my end, I try to, not that you don't, but we both, is bring transparency. So, like when I spoke about, I forgot what our topic was last week, but I gave my experience on the first time I snuck out of school to go have sex. That didn't happen, thank God. But
Right.
and how afraid I was to speak up. And so, yeah, I agree. But before I speak on anything else, let's read the comments because I want to make sure we get those out there. But
Thank you for
Linda
joining,
says, yes,
Glenda and Ashley. Thank you guys for joining.
yeah, the power is in the tongue. And you don't have to be older to catch it. And you don't have, there's no age. It's just, you see the difference.
Yeah.
In your behavior and your outcome. I'm a firm believer now in karma. I mean, I've got mine back years ago. I'm clear. Even with joking, like I literally used to make fun of my brother because he messed his knee up, and I'm like, aha, that's why you're limping. Here I am, 38, limping. I was like, I'm done. No more karma, please. I was making fun of my aunt because I'm like, that's why you can't hear. Even though she had hearing, it was just like making fun of her out of good humor. And here I am, 38, talking about, because I can't hear you. So I'm done. No more karma.
Right.
I believe in it. And so there is power in your tongue. I'm grateful, and I'm going to pass it back so we can keep getting comments, but I'm grateful because here I was getting ready to go on a tangent just now because it just really upset me to see such negative comments to these girls. Like, it was just negative. And the only thing that I'm thinking of is what in them, besides the fact that this is celebrity, that they are so removed from, that they have to find it in a man that's not even giving them him. He's giving himself or someone else to like 20 behind them. So I want to change my communication. I want to be more effective in the way that I communicate across the board, because I don't want a young girl to see me and want the outcome of my life, but don't know what I got through to get here. So this is important because maybe it'll come across someone's timeline and they can hear that the outcome didn't start with perfectly packaged you. It started with the struggle and still is with the struggle.
Right. Christy, you're absolutely right. She stated, I agree, Tamara said it was a form of protection, but because children were listening, they were unable to read between the lines, and unfortunately, they have adopted that mentality. And I agree with that 100%. And that's even with these behaviors that these young girls have now. The mothers aren't taking the time to say, I'm talking to this person this way because I need these bills paid. So the daughter is growing up watching a mother act the way she's acting and adapting those behaviors, and all she sees is the outcome. She's not seeing what, the long-term effects are from what she's doing. So I believe that's absolutely, it just goes back to education, and taking accountability for what you're doing, how you're handling yourself, and what you're allowing your children to be exposed to. And nowadays, it's kind of like you can't even say that either, because even if you do have them protected at home, but by the time they go to school or go hang out with whoever, they parents may not be doing it. So there goes that opportunity, like the old saying, curiosity killed the cat, So, Glenda said also, I don't know if you read that, but Glenda was saying, yes, we must watch what comes out of our mouths. There's power in the tongue. It absolutely is, you know. Hey, Steve-O, thank you for joining in. I know your little lady is very, very little, but this is always relevant information. And it's not just for, even though we're targeting girls, it's not just for girls, you know, because this information is relevant for boys. And I think it's as equally important to educate young boys on how to embrace their uniqueness and who they are and who are they becoming, and not to let others, their peers, or, you know, it's not even peers no more. You have grown behind parents that say evil things to other people's kids. You got teachers that say, you know, some really nasty stuff to these kids. You know, I happen to have been a parent that was very involved with my kids in school. So, you know, and my children always knew, you tell me first, let me handle it from an adult, you know, perspective, and, you know, take it from there. But I because of my youthfulness and me being little, when I would go to the school, you know, I would witness with my own eyes teachers talking crazy talking crazy to people's kids, you know. Hey, Anthony, thank you for joining. Hey, Santana, thank you for joining. And please make sure you guys like and share this video. We want to get this message out to as many young women as possible, as many parents as possible. We have these conversations not just to be talking, but it's a form of education and a gateway, if, you know, so to speak, on how to have these conversations with your kids. We do recognize that sometimes these conversations are uncomfortable and you just don't know where to start. Just like when the kids, you know, her business is perfectly packaged, you demonstration, you know, that we do recognize nowadays there are a lot of single fathers raising these kids, and you just don't know where to start. You don't know how to have the conversation, you know. So that's the purpose of us coming up with this content, and, you know, for you to take from it what is relevant to your current situation and have these conversations with these kids. This is the only way we're going to make a difference in their lives. The only way we're going to change these negative character traits in our community. This is the only way we're going to create healthy relationships. These kids need to understand the necessity of having healthy relationships with people, whether it's an intimate relationship, whether it's, you know, with people in authority, understanding how and what a healthy relationship looks like. So pass it back off to you, ma'am.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I made a post in a group that I'm a part of. Like, I really support not just our brown girl community, but women alike. You know, our business is targeted to all girls, all women, because we should celebrate each other. At the end of the day, the power of the P is what got us all here. The
Right.
pretty package. But there was a Black Women's March over the weekend. Now, I'm not against it. I'm all for it. I'm like, great, women, yes. But my post was, what now? What now? Brown women up in Sacramento were upset because the white women race was more represented during that women's march when President Cheeto was inaugurated in.
Yo.
Okay. Okay, you're mad. I get it. But, you know, we know who we are. So
Right.
the idea of the march was, we're going to march. We're going to protest because Black women were there and we should be represented. We should, but what next? So
Right.
for me, all of these things go back, which was a great topic, to don't apologize for being you. I'm not saying we apologized over the weekend for being who we were. What I'm saying is it didn't benefit us any more than it did before the day that march actually happened. Now,
Right.
what would benefit us is if we log on to these videos, or if we created our own videos, if we shared businesses like Pretty Princess Parties, Perfectly Packaged You, the Workforce Pro, which is a brown girl IT company. They built my website. The stylist, I got to scroll back, but you were mentioning she's an amazing stylist in LA in the Leimert Park area. That is the what next. Now, that saying of don't apologize for being you goes away, because we're no longer apologizing, we're acting, we're moving. But when we're marching because we didn't like something or we didn't appreciate how we were represented, Now we're apologizing for being us. Well, I'm sorry you didn't like us, but we're here anyway. Well, you know what? You don't have to like me. You just got to buy. That's it. Your green dollars cash in my bank just like the next person, and my green dollars cash in your bank just like the next person. So don't apologize for being you. It's so many things. It's not just, in the physical presence or the spiritual presence. It's across the board. It's in our lifestyle. It's in our everyday movement. And if I'm not going to apologize anymore, that means I'm going to give something better. That means you're giving something better. That means the people on this timeline, you're giving something better. But what is that if we're all keeping it to ourselves?
Absolutely. So we have a few more minutes, and I would love to see some people post what was something that maybe you experienced growing up or in your adult life that you seemingly have to always apologize for it or excuse, or you have to give the history behind it, and some feedback. What is your suggestion for a young lady that may see this video, or her mom may share this video with her, as far as how to handle that when people just seemingly can't accept you for who you are, and they want to change you, so to speak. For me, like, I've always been labeled as being mean, so for me, I prayed and I asked God. I said, Lord, you created me, and if anything is in me that's not like you, that you didn't put in me, then remove it. And I remember in my prayer time asking the Lord that very same question, and hearing him say, you are who you are. Because there is somebody out there that needs the boldness that I possess. Somebody needs to be told, hey, you keep doing that stupid stuff you're doing, you're going to die. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, because 9 times out of 10, when you're advising somebody, they've heard it before. So God loves us so much that he will send as many warnings as possible to get your attention, and he'll try different methods. Sometimes you got to have it, sweet and packaged real pretty. But when he sent you enough messages and you still seemingly don't get it, then he gonna come with the raw. He gonna come with the you almost didn't make it. So that's why people like me exist, because you need to know that your behaviors, your actions, your positions you're putting yourself in is going to end you up somewhere you don't want to be. So I embraced it, but I did have enough sense to say, okay, Lord, give me the wisdom to know when to display that and when to tone it down, or how to present it to this person. So anytime I get people asking me advice, or they're coming to me with their issues, I always pray. I might not be doing it out loud. I'm looking you dead in your eyes while you're talking, but I'm praying. I'm saying, God, give me the wisdom, give me the words, show me what I need to do and how I need to say it for this person to receive you, not me. And that's what we got to do. We got to remove ourselves from situations. We got to take our personal ideas out of it, and really educate people, specifically our youth, educate them from a place of love and empathy and concern. These kids need to know that we are concerned, even though I am not your mom, I'm not your cousin, your grandma, your auntie. I am concerned about your well-being, because we continue to turn a blind eye to what we see these kids doing. It's going to affect in some shape, way, or form. I hate when people say, and I know hate is an ugly word, but I absolutely hate when people make the comment, it don't bother me. It ain't affecting me. It may not bother you or affect you now, but long term, it will. Just like she was speaking about the celebrity. Yeah, his behaviors, his actions, his promiscuity, it may not have been bothering anybody then, but I guarantee you it's bothering somebody now, from his behavior,
Yes.
from him being disobedient, not listening to people telling him slow down. Because somebody has told him more than one time. Somebody has told him, now you're in a position that you have some long-term effects. So when you make the comment, or you have the mindset, I'm not going to get involved because it don't affect me. Yes, it does. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but it does affect you. And guess what? When it comes back around full circle, it's going to eat you alive. It's going to eat you alive. LaDonna, hey, thank you for joining. We was wondering where you was at. We was missing you.
Got their babies. So
In the babies.
I want to sprinkle a little anticipation for next Thursday. I'm excited. So next week, you have to log on. You have to like our page, Perfectly Packaged You, because that's where it's going to be hosted on the next week. But like you said, you have to be held accountable. You have to know. So our topic for next week is based off of foster parents. And I'm curious to really open a dialogue on foster parents. You know, how are you setting up your child for success as a foster parent? You know, what are you providing them for the world as a foster parent? But my main concern is in the foster care, if you have a friend who's a foster parent who's not doing right by their child or the children, do you consider them a friend or future felony? That is going to be amazing. Because at the end of the day, a lot of our generation that grew up in the foster care system, they're a product of our environment that we live in today. And some of them they're giving the residuals back into communities now based off of what they received. And then some of them aren't. Some of them are professional people. So it can go either way. So yeah, friend or felony.
Absolutely. But there's a responsibility there too. As a community, you know, to help prevent that. You know, that goes back to what I just said. It has a full circle effect. It has a full circle effect. If you don't address it or at least attempt, you know, none of us have capes on the back of our shoulders, but we do have a responsibility, and it doesn't take much. It doesn't take much for you to step up, and if it's nothing more than just say, hey, I love you. You know, I love you. And we should love all of them. You know, you don't have to be blood related, but that is a child that's going to grow up into an adult. And like you just said, some of them that, you know, have been in foster care or been in abusive, you know, situations, if just stepping up to the plate and showing a little bit of empathy, a little bit of care, a little bit of love makes a world of the difference. It really does. It absolutely does. So, LaDonna, give us some feedback on the topic tonight. We have LaDonna, we have Glenda.
Hi, my cousin Tracy.
Hey, thank y'all. Thank y'all.
So I did see you post your link in there, which is awesome. And I'm going to post Perfectly Packaged You. And just as a reminder, Perfectly Packaged You, we ship menstrual hygiene boxes. We ship. First of all, let me give a shout out to, Shay. So Shay won our pretty packages a couple weeks ago to her twin daughters. And she inboxes pictures of the boxes given to her girls, which I so loved. And she posted her boxes and a thank you to Perfectly Packaged You on Instagram, which led to someone inboxing us with the YMCA all the way across town, the country, because of her post. And I'm appreciative of that, because this is what this is for. It's to get the word out about our businesses, is to spark up dialogue and communication, but more importantly is for our community to be held accountable for one another. I can't do this without Tamaris, because at some point people are going to get tired of seeing me. And if we continue to inspire each other, we're inspiring a community to either take this for themselves and run and do it better than us, or to invite people into this circle to understand that there's no judgment here. It's just real opportunity for us to get to know one another and to be accountable for our actions as women, as a community, and as a breed that is vital to the communities that we live in, work in, and parent in. Looks like somebody wrote something because like you're reading, kind of heavy. Let's see. Have y'all considered expanding to twice a week? FBI one day, Insta Live. Oh, Oh, Facebook. Oh, okay. You know, I'm old school. FBI one day. No.
She's FBI. Wait a minute.
I'm like, you know my business? No.
Hey, May.
For me, I would say twice a week would be great, but let's get a consistent 20 people that is consistent instead of the 5, 4, 7, 9, 5, 4. If I can see a consistent 20, that means we're consistent for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Or maybe we
I
could do
think
a guest person during that off day.
I think we should put LaDonna on there.
Oh, I told her you better go to the car.
Right?
From them babies. And I would love to, cause, I mean, my sister, so she has, I'm going to say this as a, don't apologize for being you. Hey, I am a mother of one, so I respect you mothers. And she's a mother of multiples.
Girl.
So I think, you guys will have great dialogue on do it, how you did it, how's it working, the challenges, because we just don't share the same challenges as a single parent. We're similar challenges, but not completely the same. And I think that's a good discussion to have. That you guys
absolutely.
And then we can have our baby on here. Four of them. They're all characters. Four. But I know we're getting close to the end, so do you want me to give my spiel so that way, because Facebook get real funny after that hour.
Girl, don't they? Go
ahead. So anyways, I'm so glad that you guys were able to join. This to me was probably more the casual one that we've ever done, which made it even better because sometimes you have to talk about it to get through it. Like I kind of was in my feelings after reading this whole R. Kelly situation. So I was ready to go all in times 10. But, ladies talk about, the power of mind. And hearing Tamara speak about accountability, I was like, shut that mouth. So this brought me full circle. Thank you. Again, I am the owner of Perfectly Packaged You. And Perfectly Packaged You, we provide hygiene menstrual boxes that we ship nationally. Now, the beauty of Perfectly Packaged You is we don't care about the products. We do ship you everything. When I say everything you're going to need to have the talk. Now, once you continue on with the cycle of period, then yes, you can fulfill those products on your own because we don't provide that. We're really concerned about having the talk because that bonding experience is what's most important to that young girl and to you. But more importantly, we have launched our new site. It's amazing. We have new branded boxes, which are just beautiful, but we're expanding. So this coming week, you will be seeing new boxes, custom boxes that will be added to our site. And I'm going to introduce all these things as we do our weekly series, but our new boxes are 3. 1, we're going to have the American girl because there are a lot of people tied to the American flag, and we represent that because we represent girls across the country. So if you're that American girl, that's going to be your box. We have the pride box because we have to identify with these parents that have children that are transitioning or that have now understood for themselves that they are into the same sex of girls. And hey, at the end of the day, we're wrapping you in our circle of love. So you can now order your box, which will be our pride box. It's geared towards you, Perfectly Packaged You. And one of the boxes I'm most excited about, because being a brown girl in business, it just makes me say, I got that brown girl magic. So our last box that we're introducing that people can start pre-ordering now is our BGM box, which is Brown Girl Magic. And it's for any girl. I mean, you might not be a brown girl, but you might feel that magic. So that's your box. All the contents are the same, but the branding is tailored for you. It's so you can identify with that process that's going to happen. But more importantly, it's so you can relate, because it's coming from your point of view or the way that you feel about yourself, which is more importantly, again, don't apologize for being you. And that's what we're providing you, a process of packaging that allows you not to apologize for it. So how you can reach us is you can visit us on our website, which is www.perfectlypackagedyou.com, or you can visit us on our Instagram, which is perfectlypackaged_you. And I hope to see you. Leave your feedback, and our website is in the comments. So click like and share. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, it was a wonderful, wonderful evening. I thank you all who took the time out of your evening to jump on and comment and share and give us hearts. Really, really appreciate that. And we look forward to having more relevant conversations in the very near future, because at the end of the day is our overall agenda is to educate, and to do our part in our communities with our children, because they are our future. So that's pretty much the purpose of us doing this, is to have just an open dialogue, um, provide relevant content for individuals to take back and have these very challenging conversations with our children. Um, the way of the world is technology, so these children are exposed to things that they really don't understand what they're being exposed to, and it is our responsibility to counteract that information with truths, and making sure that they are understanding what they are seeing or experiencing. And that's pretty much it. Pretty Princess Parties initially started off again as mobile spa services for young girls between the ages of 8 and 18. But here recently we have implemented workshops and programs to counteract the negativity that's in the world regarding our young girls, as far as them loving themselves and discovering their uniqueness and feeling comfortable in their uniqueness. As Nakia was speaking about earlier, about the different communities that are out there, I never get this right, the LGBT community. Our children are being exposed to that, and they are still children. They still need to feel loved. They still need to be encouraged. They still need to be walked through the whole process to make sure that their decision is the decision that they've made, and they're not being influenced by negative images or their peers. We just need to love on our children, and that is the purpose of Perfectly Packaged You and Pretty Princess Parties. We do workshops, we do conferences, we do catering to, if you need some ideas for an existing conference, however you need for us to present our material to best suit what you're trying to do in your community, we are more than happy, more than willing to work together with you on that. Any additional inquiries, you can visit our Facebook business page at Pretty Princess Parties, and there's 3 A's in parties. You can visit our website at www.ppparties3.com. You can follow us on Instagram at PPP3. Again, we thank you so very much for taking time out of your evening for listening to us. We thank you for sharing this video and giving us feedback in regards to our content. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And kids, you have anything else?
I just like for you to show your nails. I mean, let's just go and put it out there. We have a celebrity nail technician, and I could not keep my eyes off of her nails. She's mobile, so if you're in the Los Angeles area and you want the flyest nails and you want to support that brown girl movement, call Tamaris. Like, her nails stay popping. I'm just telling you. Celebrity, we all know, like when okay, real quick before we go. So after this whole LA hair show came on, WeTV or something, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get my hair done before I cut it all off. So I used to go there to get my hair done, like just because I was at LA Hair. Now, don't give me water out of a styrofoam cup if I'm in Beverly Hills. Like, where was my Fiji? But that's another story. But I went because it was on TV, and I was like, yes. So we all love to have something that's attached to that celebrity lifestyle. I don't care who you are. I mean, MAC provides bomb makeup in photo shoots. That's attached to a celebrity sometimes, most of the time, all the time. So we all have something that identifies us with a celebrity. So you can now have your very own celebrity nail technician. I'm just saying. Pretty Princess Party's in the building, but I'm going to rock that celebrity nail technician because I think it's brown girls as nail technicians. We talk about it, but we rarely see it. So this is
Absolutely.
it. This is what it looks like. Yeah. So that's what I got.
Thank you for that little shameless plug. I appreciate that. Hey, Lori,
Now you can
thank
pay
you
me
so
later,
very
but I
much
got
for
you.
sharing. We appreciate you. Yeah, I got you, moderate system. We got each other. We got each other.
Offline, you and
Well, it
LaDonna
is
can
now
talk about
officially
potentially.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, Donna, she wants to
Absolutely.
guest host
Ladies,
with you, so we'll talk about that offline.
absolutely. Let's do it. Let's
All right.
absolutely do it. Well, thank you,
Well,
ladies
thank
and
you. Thank you
gentlemen,
for
that
having me.
again for your time. Same time, same place next week.
Yep, we're going to talk about the foster care, being a foster parent. So next week is going to
Good
be
topic.
live.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
All right. See
Live
you
all
next
the
week.
way.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.